Good morning. Today's video is going to be about don't build a shelter and why not. If you're out hunting for a day and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and now you've decided that you are lost or something has happened that you are not going to make it out of the woods, that's why I say don't build a shelter. And I'm going to show you today what I would do in that situation. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got about an hour and a half, 2 hours to dark. And I've decided that there is no way that I can make it out of the woods safely today. And it's pitch dark. You need some basic skills at this point because you are going to spend the night. You are not walking out of these woods 15 to 20 miles at 5 o'clock at night when it is pitch dark. And what I see on YouTube and on a lot of these channels is they show you how to build a lean-to. They show you how to build a fire. If it takes you 4 hours to build a lean-to to the specs that some of the ones I've seen, as well as now you have to collect enough firewood to go all night. That could take you 2 to 3 hours to collect the firewood. You have to do the math. That math adds up to 7 to 8 hours. That's not very practical at 5 o'clock at night. That means you're going to be building shelter, gathering firewood until midnight. Well, in my world, that's unacceptable. So the first thing I'm going to be looking for at 3 o'clock in the afternoon is a bunch of blowdowns. Now I'll circle this camera so you can see what I have come across. I'm out hiking today. I took a winter hike. I brought some stuff along that I can have a lunch out here and all that, and put this video together as to what I would do if I needed to spend the night in the Maine woods. There's really only two things that's going to save you bacon. All that gear in the world, you might have it with you, you might not. Rabbit hunting, like I said earlier, you won't have it with you. A lot of times deer hunting, you won't have it with you. Unless you're one of these guys that wants to carry a 20-pound pack on his back. I just don't see that being very practical as a rabbit hunter or a deer hunter. So like I said, there's two things. Fire. You've got to be able to build a fire anywhere, anytime, under any circumstances. That's it in a nutshell. And the second thing that'll save you bacon out there is keeping your wits about you. Don't panic. A lot of people you can have all the gear in the world, but if it's getting dark and you start to panic, you're already done. Like I said, the first thing I'd be looking for is a bunch of blowdowns. I don't know if you can see behind me. I'm in a circle of blowdowns. What that does for me, because I'm not going to build a shelter, I'm already wet. From hunting today and walking around. You can see absolutely everything here is covered in snow. So there's no way that you're going to arrive at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and not be at least damp, if not soaking wet at that point. So the last thing you want to be doing is spending a couple of hours building a shelter. You're just going to get wetter. Look around. Everything is covered in snow. By the time you get your shelter built, you are going to be soaking wet. So your first line of defense is your cover, which is the clothes that are on your back. Now my main clothes are still pretty dry. My sleeves are wet from moving trees and all that. I've left my winter coat off so I got that kind of drying out right now, but it was too warm to wear it, so I was going to sweat too much. So the first thing you need to do is find, if you can, as many blowdowns as possible. I got fortunate here. I was just stumbling along through this stuff and boom, look at all them blowdowns. So what the blowdowns do is they give you a little bit of shelter, but look at the firewood. I don't have to go 5 feet to get firewood. So that's going to be great at midnight and at 3 o'clock in the morning. because it takes an enormous amount of firewood to last a night. So what I'm going to do, I have one of those Mylar blankets with me. I have a real Mylar blanket with me. It's not a dollar store one. It's not one of them little tiny ones. This is a Mylar blanket. Put this in your backpack. As you can tell, it's fluorescent orange. This is a tarp. This is not a dollar Mylar blanket from the dollar store. This costs $12 at Home Depot. Well worth it. It's 5 feet by 6 feet. The back of my neck is as hot as my face is from this fire. Fire comes in, hits the blanket, reflects back onto me. This is a toasty, toasty place to spend the night. And if you have a system like this in place and in your bag, you will not get hypothermia. There's just no way around it. I'm 80 degrees, 80 degrees. It's already 3:30 in the afternoon. So my only option now is to hunker down for the night and make a game plan tomorrow. But right now it's January 2nd. It's supposed to be 5 below zero tonight. So my main thing right now is to get a fire built and as quick as possible to get a fire built. So my point here is, do I move the firewood? What would you do in this situation? Would you move a whole bunch of firewood to where my snowmobile is broke down? Or would you move yourself to where the firewood is to have a large fire tonight? My opinion is that it's a whole lot easier to move me to where the firewood is. So that's what we're going to do. I can look up through the woods up on the hill there. I can see a whole bunch of blowdowns. It's probably all seasoned pine, seasoned whatever. But that's what I do. I move myself to the wood pile. It's a whole lot easier and a whole lot faster. But I'm going to step out of the picture right now, and I got something I want to show you. I have found a white birch tree on the ground, and there is bark it's big sheets of it. I am going to lug that to where the brush pile is. That is the birch bark that was wrapped all the way around that stump. And if I take you down a little more, right under that snow, there's a huge piece, huge. That will build an enormous fire. See that? That right there is perfect fire starter. They're just laying here. So this right here, I will lug to my makeshift campsite. Yeah, you see that big pile? Probably less than a minute, I collected more birch bark than I could possibly use. So I'm gonna move you and me up to where I see that there's a blowdown, and we will build a fire out of this birch bark. All right, now you can see my big pine tree that I found. This is where I'm going to hunker down for the night. I would not be surprised if some of them big limbs, I could find all of the fat wood that I need for building a fire. Alrighty, this is an emergency fire. What's our emergency fire starter? Flint and steel lighter. But as you can see, that old bark that I found on the ground and off that stump, there's still plenty of it. Man, I could go all night. But anyways, it doesn't have to be complicated. There is lots of tinders, natural tinders in the wild. You don't need to bring the store-bought stuff with you. Some of the stuff that's out in the woods, I can guarantee you, is better than anything that you can buy. And it is a renewable resource in the North Maine Woods. Now remember, I'm 60 miles from the truck. I'm a half a mile from where my snowmobile broke down. I moved myself to the wood pile, which is this giant pine tree that has fallen on the ground. I've got more wood than I can burn tonight, an arm's length away. I will make the night. It's going to be 5 below zero tonight, and I have plenty of fire. I am plenty warm in the North Maine Woods. Even though it is covered in snow, it is still doable. It is still easy to do. It only takes a little bit of practice. So get out, practice your crafts. And this is one of them situations where this would be a life-saving fire. I am going to spend the night in the Maine woods. Hypothermia is a problem.